Today is June 16th. Just yesterday, the Singaporean government announced that phase 2 of getting back into normal life would be starting on the 19th. So, since I had a dentist appointment this morning, I thought it would be interesting to document what phase 1 looks like in what's usually a pretty populated part of Singapore, Orchard. For the sake of trying to be the least obnoxious as possible, I brought my small 50mm lens, and of course I didn't film my dentist appointment. And while this isn't my best cinematic work, I know that the footage I collected is something that will stick with me for a really, really long time. I've never seen Orchard this empty. I mean, I don't live near this area at all, but I've been here enough times to know that it's not supposed to look like this. There's usually people everywhere. There's someone on every step of the escalator, and the usual pathways that I would take to take the train home were closed. I mean, everyone was wearing a mask, which I'd become quite used to, but I just wasn't used to not that many people at all. Stores were closed, the places where I got my glasses were closed. To be honest, it was kind of distressing. Eventually, I made my way to the MRT, and it was there where I felt the most normalcy. I hadn't been on the train since this whole thing had escalated, and I kind of expected there to be like duct tape on the seats so that people wouldn't sit next to each other, but it was the opposite. I mean, people still took precautions, and people took it upon themselves to not sit right next to each other, but it was definitely assuring to be able to take that transport and feel a sense of the usual again. And honestly, being on the MRT, I forgot how much I just loved riding the train and being able to look out of the train doors and watch Singapore go by. There were some things that were definitely different because of COVID.
To protect your health and safety, please avoid talking to one another or on your mobile phones while on public transport. Do also practice good personal hygiene by washing or sanitizing your hands frequently.
But that's definitely for the best. And then I got off at my stop, and it felt like I was shoved back into the strange reality of today. For every person, it seemed like there were two Grab drivers or Grab delivery men. And there were these little pieces of paper at every entrance where you had to scan if you wanted to go inside so that the government could track you in case anyone in that area was found to have the virus. And of course, when I got on the bus, they asked for you to keep your mask on. Overall, it was a really interesting time. I hope that I don't have to experience a day like this again. Not that it was so horrible, just that in the future, I hope things really do look different and look quote-unquote normal for a long time. I think I'm going crazy. So it's the night before Naya, Joy, and I released the first episode of our podcast, Week Dependent Woman, where we talked about high school and graduating during a pandemic and just having a different final semester. And so that's been prepared for days now, and I'm just currently finalizing everything and like scheduling everything so it goes up tomorrow like at the same time, and I don't have to worry about when tomorrow comes. And I'm looking at our Anchor page, and I noticed that something wasn't quite right. And so I just kept staring at it until I realized that our podcast cover art is just slightly less saturated than the actual photo. It's not even that like crazy big of a deal. It's not like we're big famous people or anything like that. It's just I want everything to look uniform and smooth for tomorrow. I'm so stupid. So I was on our podcast platform And I was just kind of like freaking out because I couldn't figure out why the colors did not look the same, why the colors were just darker than they really should have been. And then I kind of figured like, okay, you know what, like I'm just gonna focus on scheduling the episode and making sure that that's fine. And so I go to schedule it, but then in just a moment of stupidity, I publish it instead of scheduling it. See, I had gone back before and I scheduled it and I thought that it saved in my schedule, and so I was just making sure, and then I don't know why, I guess I thought I was saving the scheduling time, but really I just accidentally published it, and so I published it, and I panicked because immediately like it showed like the confirmation publication screen, and in my moment of panic I exited that window and proceeded to delete the account. I don't know why. I think my process was just that if I delete the account now, I can start over and start everything over, and maybe that'll help with like uploading the photo, it'll help with like the episode. But the thing is that once you upload an episode, it becomes distributed to other external platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts right away, like as soon as you publish it. And so that was what was happening as soon as I clicked publish. And so even though I tried to delete the account like a couple seconds after I just published the episode, it said that it would take up to like 10 days to confirm deletion. It really is, it's a passion project, you know? It's not like at the end of the world. It's just, wow, this is so frustrating, and it's all happening because of my mistakes. I have no one to blame but myself. This is not a good feeling. Oh my gosh, I look so... Please excuse me, it's been kind of a rough day already, and it's only 3 p.m. the next day. Let's not look at that. And we are officially live on Spotify, YouTube, and Anchor for the podcast. I'm not sure if it will be deleted or not. I did contact them and everything, but the email back to me basically said that like it would take them a while to get back about my request to not delete the account because of COVID and like not having staff and stuff like that. But yeah, it's really exciting. I didn't think that putting something up like that would be, I guess, as simple as it is. I kind of just overcomplicated it myself and made it a bigger deal than it really was. But I'm really happy and I'm really proud, and I'm glad that last night's trouble is all over with. If you want to listen to the podcast, I'll link it below to Anchor and Spotify. But we also have a YouTube channel with closed captions so you can read it and stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't think I could have predicted our friendship, like, coming into high school.
Yeah,
you know?
I was gonna say, like, I did not expect to be friends with you guys.
Wow, you don't have to say it with such, like, disgust.
No, that's not what I meant.
Today is the day before phase 2 starts. Oh my gosh, wait, it's so cold. I'm just gonna get a sweater. It's so cold. As I was saying, today is the last day of phase 1, which is so crazy. I don't know, I don't really feel any different. I know this time in the world's history is slowly coming to an end, and this is one of those milestones on the way to that. And so, but in like my personal history, this is just, it's another day. And I think I'm gonna make some tea. Javi, did you hear me vlogging just now?
Yeah.
What did you hear?
Something about phase 2.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Migs made, what's this?
A brownie.
A
Mug
brownie? Oh, like mug cake.
Yeah, but it's a Like a brownie, not a cake.
It's pretty good. Considering I did not wait as long as I should have. It's really good. I think it might even be better because it's like diluted. Anyway, I thought I would update on the podcast thing. So they got back to me actually pretty quickly and said that the account will not be deleted. So the podcast will stay up, and make sure to check it out if you can. And I wanted to talk a bit about just what I'm doing. This is the first type of video like this that I've made in like 2 years. I haven't really vlogged anything. A lot of things have been changing with regards to the world around me in my personal life. Like, I'm a high school graduate now. I'm going to be going to college. And so I guess I kind of just wanted to start documenting things again. I remember towards the end of the school year, I was just thinking about it, and I can't clearly recall what has gone through high school. I mean, it's like 4 years, right? Like, who really can? But knowing the people that I have in my life now and like how I feel during this time in my life, I know that in the future I am gonna want to remember what being alive at this time was like, what a global pandemic was like, what starting a podcast was like, what making tea was like. So many people are going on YouTube nowadays, and a lot of my peers I know are also like filming their own vlogs and their own types of videos and starting to make a name for themselves on this platform. And that in a way also just kind of gave me the confidence to be like, yeah, I can do this too if I want to. I'm so used to being behind the camera and filming things anyway, that to be in front of it, okay, that's like a pretty big change. But I know that this is going to be something that I'll be really grateful that I've made during this time. If you've watched throughout this entire video, thank you. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if it's just me from the future watching this over again, that's fine too. I mean, that's like basically the purpose of why I'm filming this and why I've been vlogging and stuff like that. I'll see you in the next video.